The second wine in the box is the 2005 Lopez de Heredia Tondonia Reserva. And in the box, I wanted to talk about Spanish wine, both what's happening with new wave producers and what Rioja or Spanish wine traditionally is. And there's nothing more traditional than this winery here. This winery holds their wines back basically as long as they think they need to before people should be drinking them. And the wine that you have in your box is 13 years old. And although it has 13 years of age on it, I believe it still needs to be decanted. And I'm going to show you kind of what that is and why we're going to be doing it. So first I got to take this awful cage off.
And if I wanted to store it, how long should I store it kind of optimally?
So this wine, I would age at least a couple years, but it would last from 5 to 10 years easily. If you do go, when you get this back and you do want to open it and just drink it immediately, I would make sure to open it with a couple hours before you drink it. And if you have the opportunity to decant it. So when you're decanting, there are proper decanters that you can buy. Or if you don't have one, you can do what we're doing here today and just use like a vase. So,
or if you're a Chemex coffee pot, works really well.
Or I've been known to use a Chemex coffee pot because it's perfect. It has like a big handle. So the first thing you want to do before you pour the entire wine in is just put a little bit in there, and you want to prime essentially your decanter. You want to get any of the life that's living in there out of there. So, and just get it out of there. So it smells like Rioja. It smells so good. And what we're doing is letting the wine get a ton of air because the wine is still going to be quite dense and dark. And Tondonia, the vineyard this comes from, is their top vineyard. It's the oldest vines. And 05 is an exceptional year, which means the wine's going to have a lot of strength. It's going to be really basically structured on your palate. And it's one of those things that you want to soften. And the best way to do that is with air.
Look at the color.
I know.
Wow.
So the cool thing when you put your nose in this wine glass is the wine's 13 years old. So you're going to see that you're not going to get fresh fruit aromas. When wine has age on it, you're going to get a bunch of tertiary stuff. That means secondary notes. And that's typically leather, earth, dried fruits, and a little bit of spice. And wow. Where this comes from is Rioja in Spain, which is the most classic growing region in Spain. And what they do differently than anywhere else in the world is that they focus on American oak. Most of the world uses French oak, and the biggest difference is on the nose, you're gonna get like dill and you're gonna get vanilla. And those are like classic notes for American oak. And they do long aging in wood. It's a very, very old school traditional way of doing things. And this is definitely the benchmark for traditional Rioja.
Is American oak considered better than
American oak, then what oak?
I don't know, the other kind of oak?
So there's French oak, and there's American oak, and there's a couple others, but those are the ones worth focusing on. And it's not that it's better or worse, but it's more pronounced. So like American oak is a louder vessel. It imparts a bigger flavor onto the wines than French oak. Tends to be a little bit more subtle. But they only use really old wood, so the flavor it does impart is just a kiss. It shouldn't be overt. So
and they reuse the barrels
all the time. Yeah. But it spends a long time in there. You know, it spends 4 years, which is also very classic for Rioja. And if you want to show people what older wines taste like without having to spend a bunch, Rioja is also really nice because this is what they traditionally do. You know, most Reservas aren't 13 years old, but most Reservas at least have like 5 or 6 years of age on them, so that you can pick up a wine from your local wine store and maybe spend 20 bucks as opposed to spending 40, 50, 60, and see what older wines taste like. Cheers.
Cheers.